Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are having a wonderful Friday. I am beyond excited for it to be the weekend. It felt like a long week. Most weeks feel like long weeks. I'm ready. I'm ready for the weekend. As you saw by the thumbnail, this is going to be another update for Pan in Every Palette. This project was created by Lady Pans a Lot over on Instagram. And there is a group of us doing this project either here on YouTube or on Instagram. You can find us through the hashtag Pan in Every Palette. I kind of talked about this at the last month's update, but this project has been going slower than I'd like it to. I had kind of debated on whether or not I should be posting monthly because there's really not much to talk about, and at least 3 of you gave me some encouraging comments and said, yes, just keep going. We're happy to see you use your palettes, even if it's just once a month, so get on here and talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do today because there's still not a lot of progress. As you guys know, I did get sick at the beginning of the month and I had 2 days where I did not wear makeup. And although that doesn't happen often, and in the big picture of things, it really doesn't matter. It throws something like this off because that's 2 days I could have used these shadows, but it didn't happen. I am happy to say I did use these 4 palettes at least once during the month despite that. So that's good news. So let's run through these palettes really quickly. I'll tell you how many times I use the shadows and we'll wrap this up. I used the shade Spectre in my Urban Decay Moondust palette 2 times. That is this light pinky one right here that is growing product every month. Somebody made a comment that this was hard pan. I don't think it is. It doesn't look like hard pan. I mean, I can see why you would think it's hard pan, but I don't think it's hard pan. It is bizarre. The mystery is still unsolved. At some point, we will see what's going on there because I'm going to keep using it. But yes, I did use it twice during the month of March. I talked about this in my Go for the Goal update yesterday, but this shadow was really competing with the shadow Frog from my Go for the Goal project. They're both pinky, shimmery, glittery topper shades. And so I was having to choose between the two. I hit pan on Frog, I've rolled it out of the project, and I'm hoping that that will allow me to use this one much, much more consistently from here on out. At least that's the plan. I'm wearing my Natasha Nona green palette today. I'm not wearing a green shadow on my eyelid. I've really been playing around with the 2 neutral rows, or columns I should say, in this palette. It's these 2 that I am just so gravitated towards, which is funny because I did not buy this palette for those 2 rows, and I didn't even really notice that those 2 rows existed for like months after I bought this palette. I was so over here. You know, an orangey brown in my crease and a green on the lid. Oh my gosh, these metallic shades. Like, that's what I was obsessed with. But it's these 2 rows that I just love going to when I pull this palette out this year. And so the shadow I'm focusing on is this one right here. It's called Moonstone. It's beautiful. I'm using it on the inner like 1/3 of my eyelid. And I used it only once during the month, and it's today's look, actually. Today's the only time I use this palette. At least I used it once, right guys? Okay, up next, let's talk about my little Pat McGrath 6-pan palette. This is the Mothership Subversive Lovey and Rose palette. I love this palette for the colors. I just think those colors are so cool, but the shadow that I'm focusing on for this project is right here. I did a look actually in yesterday's video in my Go for the Goal update where I put this all over my eyelid, and then I layered this on top of it, and then I put this in my inner corner, and then I put ColourPop's Frog on top of all of that, and I really liked it. But I'm really zeroing in on this shade for this project, and I only used it once during the month, and it was yesterday. I'm like a college student cramming before the test. I know the update's coming and all of a sudden I'm like, I gotta use these shadows at least once, and then I do. So it's kind of what the kind of college student I was too, by the way. Okay, finally my Morphe 35OM palette. I had the most success with this palette during the month because of that St. Patrick's Day look that I did. I ended up using the shadow in this palette 3 times to do that green eye look. The shadow I'm trying to hit pan on is right here. I really like that shadow. It makes a nice transition shade. If I didn't have a shadow like soft brown in my Pan That palette, I think I'd be using this every single day, but unfortunately I have to prioritize soft brown over this one right now. Anyways, I did that green look 3 times. I did a trial run on one day, and then I did it again a second day, hoping to film my Shopping Our Stash collab with Elizabeth, but I ended up not having time to do it, so I wore the green look all day long again, and then the third day was the day I filmed the Shopping My Stash green look for that video. And I have been asked to do a little quick get ready with me for that green look one more time, so I think I'm gonna film that either tomorrow or Sunday, and so I'll use this again in the next couple days. I'm starting to think this is the one I'm gonna hit pan on first, so we will see. I wanted to mention that one of you guys gave me a great suggestion, and that was to just pull one of these shadows and focus on it for a week. Do 7 days with one shadow, 7 days with a second shadow, you know, just zero in on the one palette for a week and incorporate it into every look. I think that was a really great idea, and I think I'm going to eventually try that. But thank you for the suggestions. You guys always have wonderful suggestions. You're always here to help. You're always supporting me. It means the world, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for that suggestion, and I'm gonna try and get my act together and do that, because that would be a lot better than what I'm doing right now. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.